Now there is a small issue. Suppose I go through presentation, I will have to come back to this screen. Okay. Just to add the people.
I will add people if you carry on. I thought
Ask,
we
can,
will.
can you add?
I can add.
Then it is okay na. So I will go through presentation only. That would be
Sure.
better
You
for
carry
me.
on. I'll add people. No problem.
No, no issue. So I'll start the presentation. जानामि धर्मं न च मे प्रवृत्तिर् जानाम्य धर्मं न च मे निवृत्तिः त्वया स्वामिना हृदय स्थितेन यथा नियुक्तो अस्मि तथा करोमि अंतराय तिमिरौघ शान्तये स्वेष्ट शक्ति करुणारुणा प्रभं संतनोतु मुनिवृंद सेवितं भावगम्यम अनिशम शिवम महः करुणापूरी चित्तां सच्चिद रूपां परां दिव्यां ब्रह्म सहचरीं तुर्यां बगलां शक्तिं प्रणौमि सौभाग्याम् यत् कारुण्यं वेक्ष भाव भरितं सानंद गीतं सतां तच्चिंता निपुणैः शुद्धमतयो ये साधकाः सज्जनाः तेषां लब्ध कृपा लवेन जननी बोधोदयो में अभवत् तदवृत्तं विनिवेद्य सांप्रतमहं तोषं परम प्राप्तवान्. Jai Mai Maharaj ki to all the Sahyogis present today. And today, as we have already discussed, today we would go to the Tritiya Unmesha of Shiva Sutra, that is Ānavopaya. So all these three upaya are primarily the moksha upaya. The solution, upaya means solution. So the solution by which you could attain the moksha is Ānavopaya, is upaya. So these are total of 4 types. So first one is Anupaya. Anupaya means no upaya, means you are already in the state of that liberation.
Giriji, sorry, 1 second to disturb you. 1 second. Can you press F5 so we can have the full screen as a PowerPoint presentation? If you press F5.
If I do that, I will tell you what happens.
Okay, sure.
Slideshow does not move on.
Okay, no problem. You carry on. No problem.
Just tell me if are you able to see the change in slide?
Okay,
I'm moving the slide. Is it happening? No.
No.
So so that's why.
Okay, fine. No problem. You proceed, please. Thank you. Sorry.
No issues. What I can do is I will increase the size of presentation in just a minute. Just a minute. So now it is full. Now it would be much better. Is it moving now? I think it's moving now.
Yes, it's moving. It's moving.
So that is better. So the upaya which we are going to discuss today is Ānavopaya, Shiva Sūtra Anavopaya. So before we start Shiva Sutra, I suggest that we shall understand that what is Ānavopaya, because even if it is the last upaya, it is most complex because it covers 99% yogis in itself, or rather I would say 99.99% yogis. Or 99.9% at least it's a rough assumption, but the 99.9 is absolutely correct, because even Acharya Vinogupta says that supreme states are for 1 or 2 in crores and not even 3 and 4. If you will read Sri Tantralok Shambhavopaya Ahani Prakashan Ani, Shlok number 288. So he says the same thing, and even Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita has been quoted in the support of it as a pramana, means proof. So Ānavopaya is one of Mokshopaya. This is for limited souls, means for the beginners. And these are of 3 types: Deha Pramata, Buddhi Pramata, and Prana Pramata. So all those who consider themselves as this body, is, suppose if you ask me who I am, so I am Giriratna Mishra. So I suppose that I am this body. So it means such persons are Deha Pramata. Similarly, Buddhi Pramata, who think about Buddhi, and then Prana Pramata regarding Prana. So all the extrinsic puja, japa, home, etc. fall in this Ānavopaya category. So, but do not take it as something which is like offending your sadhana path or something. It's not like that. Even in Shri Nitya Shodashi Karana also, Apara Puja, Parapara Puja, and Para Puja are mentioned. I think you can see the book. So it is said that Bahya Chakra Puja Parameshwar Shiva also does for the sake of operating this world. Chakrarchan he also is doing continuously, he does, so that he may get the energy to operate this world. So that Chakrarchan is consist. And I tell you, when you do the Avarana Puja, what happens at that time? Just remember, just take before doing Avarana Puja, you have done the Nyas, Bhuta Shuddhi and Nyas. By the virtue of Bhuta Shuddhi, you attain a certain level, you attain the purity of Atma Tattva. Specifically, if you are doing some yogic sadhana and pranayam sadhana, then Kundalini Jagran would certainly happen, if not completely, up to some extent. And then by the virtue of Nyas, your sharir becomes mantra tanu. Sakal mantramay kilate tanu. So mantra tanu, your body would become like mantra. And the third thing, which is, and by the virtue of this, when you establish the patras, it means patra sadhana is samanyar, visheshar, again, atma, guru tattva, atma patra, etc. By the virtue of those patras, you make that environment also very perfect for the sadhana. Means a chetan tattva arrives there, because the vishesharga is abhimantriत by mantras, so that vishesharga in itself becomes the panchapretasan. And on that panchapretasan, even Bhagavati also resorts. So that's why it is said that after vishesharga sthapana, it shall not be touched, or even if it shakes for up to even a minute degree, minutes or seconds, in terms of degree, if I say, then also you will have to do the complete patra sadhana again, even if you are about to conclude the puja. And when you do the Avaran puja and consistently you do Divya Yoga, Shri Padukam Puri, I mean, so all that when you are doing, so what is happening consistently, you are remembering those stages or chakras, because that Brahmarandra, Guru Tattva is in Brahmarandra. So you are consistently energizing those chakras in your body. So even if you are doing it extrinsically by the virtue of mantra, by the effect of those mantras, which are created by Parmeshwar Shiv only, because in this Shaiva Darshan, it is said that Parmeshwar has made some crores of mantras for the sake of upliftment of yogis. So by the virtue of those mantras, what happens is that you get upliftment, and you are in almost same stage in which a yogi who is doing antar sadhana is at of the level of Ānavopaya. So when you consistently do this, so what happens that Shaktopaya procedure also cures here, means what happens that Shuddha Samvit continuously cures in yourself, and at some certain period of time, that Shuddha Samvit would start sustaining even after puja for a while, and then for throughout the day. So when the Shuddha Samvit would start sustaining for throughout the day, you would be in Shuddha Chetana Avastha, that would be Parapara state, that is of Shaktopaya. In that state, Shariram, Havi, Pranam, Anna, all that Shariram, Havi, Ityadi, etc. What we have studied in the last class, all those things would happen. And that Shiva Niparyantam Brahmadi Sanyutam Kalagnati Shivantam Cha Jagad Yagen Tripyatu. So all those things would happen. So in that set, so and Shariram Havi Jnanam Annam. So all these so they are just a reflection of that intrinsic process only. And when that Shuddha Samvit Tattva would become unchallenged, means that Chetana would become unchallenged, that would be Nirvikalpa Avastha, and that would be Shambhavopaya. So there is no kind of offense taken which shall be taken here. Hello? Hello? There shall be no kind of offense which shall be taken there. I think someone's microphone is on, so my voice is echoing. So, so that's why extrinsic puja, even though falls in this Ānavopaya, it takes you to that level. So even every single upaya, the reason it is called as upaya, because it can bestow you the Khechari Same, that is moksha here. So there shall not be any kind of doubt, and this is the simplest way by which you can reach to that level. This is the simplest way. Suppose I tell you, you do this sadhana, that sadhana, or even some Guru tells us, it will not, you will not, anyone would not be able to do that, because that certain level of Shaktipat is not there. That certain level Chetana Shuddhi, Chitta Shuddhi is not there. And if Chitta Shuddhi of that level is not there, even if you will start doing, after a while you will discontinue it. Naturally it will discontinue, because that energy is not there. So there is a scripture of Mahamaheshwar Acharya Venugupta ji, that is known as Shri Tantra Vatadhanika. In that Tantra Vatadhanika it is said, Evam dhi prana sambandhad antarad bahyato apicha charyaya ya samaveshah ihanav uchyate, means all the extrinsic procedures in which pran and buddhi involves. So the most important thing which you have to understand here is that in Ānavopaya, all the practices would involve pran and buddhi, and in Shaktopaya, pran and buddhi would cease, their application would cease. So what will happen when you inhale, and by the time you exhale, so in between whatever is there, that at that point you have to concentrate. That would be Shaktopaya. If suppose I'm speaking, so suppose when I speak a word, So between the gaps of word, between the gaps of sentence, and between the gap of statement, between the gap of two discussions, whatever is left on that portion, you have to concentrate. So that at that portion, when you concentrate, chitta would be concentrated, chitta shuddhi would happen for by the virtue of time, and that because that vacuum, that is the vacuum. So for the Shri Vidya sadhaks, that is Shodashi Kala Sampanna, and for Kali Upasaks, because that is vacuum, that is Ama. So that means that vacuum, because nothing is there, so that is Ama. So Ama and Shodashi both are same. There is no difference, and even Acharyas also have accepted, and naturally also you will realize that Kali and Shodashi, there is no difference. So that is the thing, and we after. So now Ānava Samavesh. Now there is very important question. There was a Sutra Guru Upaya. In the last class we had gone through the Sutra which is Guru Upaya. Okay, and this Sutra is applicable to every single Sutra from Chaitanyam Atma up to the last Sutra of Shiva Sutra. That is Bhuya Syat Pratimilanam. Up to that, all the places this Guru Upaya is applicable. Why? Because for every single Sutra, even if suppose someone is born as a Siddha, Jivan Mukta, like Abhinav Gupta, Ramana Maharshi, so many Siddha Mahapurushas are there. Even if someone is born in that way, I tell you, at certain level, when the body he is in this body, so that lid has to be open. That lid has to be opened. So Hiranyaman Patre Satyasya Pihitam Jagat, that is the Upanishadic line. So that gold vessels, that golden lid has to be opened, so that you can get rid of, means that realization may happen. And in case of Siddha Mahapurushas, Karaneshwari Shaktis, that Samvit Shakti resorting within Swa only cures this thing, means she only becomes Guru. And such Gurus are called as Sansiddhik Guru. So in Shaktopaya, various types of Gurus are discussed, and Sansiddhik Guru is of number 1 level. So before talking about Upaya, in Malini Vijayuttaratam Dvitiya Adhikar is very important to understand the Upaya concept. So here in the beginning, various kind of pramatas have been explained, that Vijnana Kal is there, then Vijnana Keval, then there is Mantra, then Mantra Maheshwar, and Mantra Mantreshwar, and then Mantra Maheshwar. So their various classifications are done. Okay. So after that, what is done? After that, Guru is defined. Who is Guru? So it is said that the Siddha Guru, even if he would touch, Sprishta Sambhashitas Tena, Drishtascha Pratipirita Chetasa, Nara Papai Pramuchante, Sapta Janma Kritairapi. What does it mean? Even if Siddha Guru touches, Sprishta Sambhashitas Tena, even if he talks, Drishtascha Prita Chetasa, even he looks lovingly towards you. Nara Papai Pramuchante, human sins of those humans who are in the contact in these way, even if they are of 7 birth, would immediately burn. Ye punar dikshitastyam pranina shiva chodita te yatheshtam phalam prape padam gacchantanamayam. Means if suppose someone is such fortunate person gets diksha from such Siddha Gurus, he would immediately liberate. So what is the quality of that Siddha Guru? It is explained that Rudra Shakti Samavesh. Samavesh is Shaktipat only, exam ground level, basic. Don't go in, means I am not entering in some detailed argument or discussion. I am just talking in ground level only, that Samavesh would mean Shaktipat. That Samavesh would mean Shaktipat. So that when Rodra Shakti Samavesh Sampanna, so such a Guru and the Siddha Sishyas are able to identify them. It is said as Sati Tasmi Chinnani Tasyaitani Vilakshayet. Means able seekers are able to identify, and there are 6 qualities which are mentioned in Malini Vijayuttaratam of such Gurus. What are these qualities? So number 1 quality, that his devotion is Rudra Shakti is Anishchal, means it is unshaking, means stable, consistent. Then he is Siddh in terms of mantras, mantra Siddhi. He is Siddh in mantra, means whatever mantra he would give, and Shishya would start doing it, he would start getting good symptoms. So that is a symptom. What is third symptom? Third symptom is that Vashitva means if someone would come in company of that person, he would automatically get attracted. So I have heard about, I am not fortunate enough to have a darshan of Sri Pitamara Pithadishwar, but I have heard from everyone whosoever said that whenever anyone would go close to him, they would feel immense attraction, immense joy and attraction. Means they will forget themselves. Means Sudh Budh Kho Jaye, means they will forget that who they are. They will only remember of him. Oh, without any kind of any kind of means nothing is done, means no Shaktipan, no hallucination, simply just looking at him. So that is Vashitva. That is third quality. And then fourth quality is Prarabdha Karya Nishpatti, means whatever work they would start, such Siddha Gurus would start, that would certainly conclude. That would come to result. If they say, okay, you start this, then that would certainly conclude. There is no other thought. Means if they have started, that would come to conclusion. The fifth quality is Kavit Samullas, means they would be expert in writing poems and kavita. So Sri Abhinav Gupta, he wrote Tantra Lok in 37 days. Shri Swamiji Maharaj, my Gurudev, has written so many books, and means that is my personal direct realization. And then sixth is Sarva Shastrartha Vittitva, means whatever scripture you keep in front of them, whatever scripture you give them, any book, they would explain that. Sarva Shastrartha Vittitva. So how now the fact is that how these gurus have this quality? So that is due to Rukta Shakti Samavesha. So slok is written here. I will go to the table. This is the table. Panchadashadha means 5 and then 50. So there are 5 categories: Bhoot, Tattva, Atma, Mantra, and Shakti. So Bhoot are, so in these 5 categories, and then if you calculate 5 Bhoot, then 30 Tattvas, Atma Tattva is 3, Mantra is 10, and Shakti is 2. So their total sum is 50. If you add up, then 50. So these Rutra Shakti Samavishta. So in case of Ānavopaya, these are these. In Shaktopaya and Shambhavopaya, these Rutra and Rutra Shakti Samavesh are different. These are different in case of Shaktopaya and Shambhavopaya. Ānavo ayam samakhyata Shakto apevam vidha smita evam Shambhavam apebhir bhedair bhinnam vilakshayet, means the category is different, but the thing is that 50 means 5 groups and then 50 Samavesh of Rudra Shakti. They would be different, numbers would be different, maybe names also might be different, something else would be there. But 50 Samavesh Sampanna Gurus only are Siddha Gurus, and they only are able to make you eligible for entering in this upayas. So after explaining all this, Parameshwar Shiv talks about Ānavopaya. Shri Malini Vijayottar Tantra Dvitiyadhikar. In Dvitiyadhikar, what is mentioned? Uchchar Karana Dhyana Varana Sthana Prakalpanai Yo Bhaveta Samavesha Samyak Ānav Uchchate. Samyak means properly. So there are 5 solutions which are talked about here. First is Uchchar, Karan, Dhyan, Varna, and Sthan Prakalpan. So Uchchar is related to Pranachara. Karan is something which is related to rejection. Okay, rejection hai, it is you have to stay in your own state while rejecting. It is very secret, means in ideally it is third, but here it is mentioned as second, ideally it's third. Then a dhyan, and after dhyan, then there is varna and sthan prakalpan, both are related to mantra sadhana. So mantra yogis, like we most of us are mantra yogis only. For them, varna and sthan prakalpan is very important. And then Ānavopaya, Mahameshwar Acharya Abhinav Gupta further categorizes it in different manner. His categorization is Buddhi Dhyan, Prana Tattva Samuchar, Chidatma Uchchar, Par Tattva Pravesh, Par Path Lakshan, Karana Upaya Kram, Varna Tattva, and Sthana Kalpan. Sthana Kalpan is of 2 types, Antar and Bahya, and Bahya Sthana Kalpan comprises of Bahya Puja. That what we do Bahya Puja, that falls in Sthana Kalpan. So Mahameshwar Acharya Abhinav Gupta ji says, means in Tantra Lok he says, Iti Jnana Chatushkam Yat Siddhi Mukti Mahodayam Tanmaya Tantrate Tantra Lok Namnet Shasani. Okay, so there is different slok I have not mentioned here. So Basically, Mahameshwar Acharya Abhinavgupta says that Tantra Lok, for writing Tantra Lok, he has used Malini Vijayottar Tantra only. Primarily, this scripture only has been referred by him to write this Tantra Lok because he says that it's complete. Malini Vijayottar Tantra. This is also known as Purva Shastra. So if you will read Tantra Lok, you will get the name Purva Shastra. So don't get confused. Purva Shastra or means Purvaj means fatherly, like that. You can say there are various ways by which Purva Shastra can be defined. So he says that Purva Shastra, Shri Purva Shastra, that way it is mentioned. And there is one more reason why Shri Purva Shastra is mentioned, because this Shastra is like Guru. So Guru's name shall never be taken. Guru shall never be called upon by name. So that is another reason. So there are various reasons. So I am not going to all that. And these classifications have their practices, and it is very esoteric, and this public forum is not eligible for that. If someone interested and if someone visits to my home, and then maybe I can discuss, because I want to discuss, means I am willing to discuss, but I am not allowed to do so. What I can do? There are compulsions by which I cannot do all that. It is, and without while knowing it, the seeker should be on really certainly different level of sadhana. It is very important to know all these. What all I can suggest is that one shall read Tantra Lok 5th Ahnik. That Tantra Lok, this is my translation, and 5th Ahnik you can, so in Hindi also it is available. So need not to refer to my book. You can refer to this book also, Shri Tantra Lok of Paramhans Mishra Ji. He has done very good translation. Some people say that his translation is this, that what he has written is based on realization and conclusions. And also he has done discussion with Siddha Mahapurushas. He went to Mahameshwar Acharya Swami Lakshman Ji Maharaj, and he himself blessed him. Swami Lakshman Ji, when Paramhans Ji went there, he opened his Shikha and did Shaktipat on his Brahmaran. He has mentioned that, and he wrote something on his book. So he is blessed person, and he has done very good work. And means because I am working on Tantra Loks, I am reading thoroughly various works. So that's why I know that he has done very good work. So those, but some basic fair knowledge of that subjects is required. If you will read the 5th chapter, you would get to know about all these 7 classifications and what are in it. So I will stop that discussion of Ānavopaya, because means I think of not fair idea, but some basic idea might have been built up in the minds of Sahyogis. So I'll move on to the next topic, main Shiva Sutra, and that is Shiva Sutra Tritiyonmesha Ānavopaya. So today, Shri Swamiji Maharaj has written a brief introduction of Bhumika, I shall say, of this Ānavopaya commentary, and he says, उक्त द्वयोन्मेषाभ्याम शिव शक्ति संबंधिनी विवेचना उपस्थिता इदानीम अनात्म अन्यात्म बुद्धिर अनात्मनि चात्म बुद्धि कथम उत्पद्यते इत्यनयोः प्रवर्तकस्याणु स्वरूपस्यात्मनो विवेचना प्रस्तूयते आत्मेत्यादिना. So for the first sutra, Atmetyadina has been mentioned, and he says that first 2 were related to Shiva and Shakti Sambandhini, and third is obviously that is for Nar. So what he says, that searching for Anatma in Atma. Atma is a Shiva. Atma Tattva, wherever Atma comes, you take it Shiva. So searching Anatma is not real. That is our limited self. We as Giri Ratna, or you as Rakesh Bhaiya, or anyone, Swastik Ji, all Abhi Ji, all those who are present here, what their identity is not real identity. That is Anatma identity. Real identity is different. So searching for Anatma Tattva means Atma Tattva, and then searching for Atma Tattva, Atma Tattva and Anatma Tattva also. Mean real in unreal and unreal in real. So Naya means procedure of doing something. Naya means procedure. Pravartakasyanu swarupasyatmano vivechana prasvite. So such procedure, which is of the form of Anu, description of Vivechana Prasvita. So now the description of such procedure in which Atma Tattva is seen as Anatma and Anatma Tattva is Atma is done in front of you. So he starts with Atmetyadina. So first sutra here is Atma Chittam. So the first sutra is Atma Chittam. So the original Swarupa of Atma is that Atma is Vishwa Swarupa. That Vishwamay Shiv only is Atma. As long as the word exists, that Atma Tattva is of Vishwaswarupa. Okay. Otherwise, Vishwamay Vishwottirna, Vishwamay Vishwottirnam. So Satak, क्योंकि सर्व सर्वात्मकता है, तो Vishwamay Vishwottirna simultaneously is Vishwamay Vishwottirna also. But here, because the word is existing, so it is said that Atma Tattva of Vishwaswarupa. Shakti. Oh, sorry. Just a minute. हाँ. विश्व स्वभाव भूत आत्मैव बुद्धि क्रियाणाम संकुचितम रूपैश्चित्तम भवति. What does it mean? That स्वातंत्र शक्ति of परमेश्वर, that स्वातंत्र शक्ति of परमेश्वर makes the चिति तत्व of that आत्म तत्व, शिव तत्व, into convert that into चित्त by the process of buddhi. So pratyabhigya, the concept of pratyabhigya is applied here. I am explaining somewhat, but because these are very basic things which are related to this topic. So the fact is that Chiti Shakti, Swatantra Shakti, his Swatantra Shakti only makes him Jeev. So we have seen all that earlier also, because if suppose Parmeshwar wants to create this world, and his Shakti is in immense love with him. Shiva and Shakti, so his Shakti is in immense love with him. So whatever he would say, she would do. If your wife loves you a lot, whatever you say, she would cook for you and she would do for you. That's all. So it's applicable here. Shakti is in immense love, so he says, okay, I want word. So she says, okay, I will make word. So how to make word? Because there is no raw material available, so she uses Shiva only as raw material. Shiva only is made raw material, and she creates the word. So even after the word is created, she reflects in herself. So all that is done. Shiva is the Shiva. Even because that Shiva, Atma Tattva of Shiva is reflected in that Shakti as a word. So that is happening. Then what happens? How does this Anu Roop Atma, how this limited Atma does transmigration? That is the question. So that is done by Jnanam Bandha. So what happens? When the Atma Tattva, Chetana of Atma Tattva is made as Chit or limited Chetana, limited consciousness. When the supreme consciousness, that is all pervasive consciousness of Atma Tattva, is made as limited consciousness, the discriminative Gyan would evolve within him. Like, this is mine and this is of yours. And this is today and then tomorrow would come. Otherwise, in that Shiva Tattva, there is no today, tomorrow. No here and there, no mine and no yours and mine. Nothing like that. And there is, means even if you say, suppose somewhere there, so inside also there is nothing like that. Only that Shiva Tattva is, you cannot discriminate. Okay, suppose, okay, see, okay, I am now in Shiva Tattva and I can see that tomorrow, yesterday's images are there. Nothing like that, because there is no such thing. There is only that instant which consistently goes on. That's why Sadhya Kaulik Siddhita means that instant only. That present tense only exists there. There is no past or future. This is absolutely wonderful state. And if suppose I say it cannot be explained by words, means I am explaining, but it can't be felt until unless you do not realize it by the virtue of sadhana. So what 7 upayas we have mentioned about these 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 8 practices of Ānavopaya. By the virtue of these, you can reach to this level. Well, Sadhya state would be there. Your mind would be in the present state only. So for such yogis, when the time of death comes, they do not feel anything, because they are in supreme state. For them, death has, because nothing has come. They are in that state only. Giving up bodies, the nothing like them is, for that also is not happening to them. So because that they are in the possessing that Atma Tattva. So when the soul chit is bounded, his discriminative Gyan cures, and by the virtue of that, the soul bounded in the body, like my soul which is bounded in the body. I do not use word Atma here. I use word soul. Bounded is soul. Atma is without any, means no sharir, etc. is there. No sanskar. Atma is a Shiv. So the soul bounded in body, which knows about Sat, Raj and Tam. Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. travels from one place to another. So that's what I have explained just now with example that past, present, future, this, that, all this will happen. So it is done. And then Maya, how it happens? Now the question is how it happens. So it is done by Maya. So what is Maya? Very important question. How Trikadarshan explains Maya. So few people say that even I had discussion with a few people on Facebook. I saw few people were posting Mayavadi, Shankaracharya Mayavadi. There is Maya here also. Maya definition is there. Maya is here also. Maya is here. Mayavad is explaining Mayavad is different thing. Okay, that is okay. But it does not mean Maya does not play here. So how Maya plays here? So it is Kaladinam Tattvanam Aviveko Maya. From Kala up to Prithvi Tattva. If you are not able to segregate, okay, from Kala up to Prithvi Tattva, if you are not able to segregate, then you are bounded by, then that is known as avivek. Vivek is result of Gyan. By the virtue of Vivek, you can judge between real and unreal. That is supreme definition of Vivek. Vivek is something by which you judge, analyze, and select and reject. The attribute by which you analyze, to select and reject is Vivek. So from Kala Tattva up to Prithvi Tattva, when you are not able to segregate or do Vivek, Vivek is there, or you are not able to apply the Vivek, then it is by the virtue of Maya. That Agyan, the manifestation of Tattvas as Agyan. So the Agyan is Maya, that Agyan by which these Tattvas have been manifested. So because after, so what happens? You suppose you see the list of Tattvas. So Panch Mahabhut hai, फिर पंच तन्मात्रा है, फिर ज्ञानेन्द्री, कर्मेंद्री, that way फिर है ना, फिर प्रधान, फिर likewise you मन बुद्धि अहंकार, फिर प्रकृति पुरुष, and above that are Kanchuk. So Kanchuk, you know, is like skin of snake. You might have seen the snakes give up their skin. So that upper outer skin which is given up. So what happens is that after Shuddha Vidya, Mahamaya imposes the skin cover. Mahamaya imposes the skin or cover. So that when that cover is put on, the Jeev who are in Prithvi Tattva, of Prithvi Tattva level, because Prithvi Tattva has its own loks. This Prithvi is in Prithvi Tattva. Up to Satya Lok, it is in Prithvi Tattva. Above that is Jala Tattva, Agni Tattva, Vayu Tattva, and all these Tattvas have their look. So what is Kanchuk? So they are Shat Kanchuk. So 6 covers are put on. 6 covers are put on, and then these are Shuddha Adhva. So then when the 6 covers are put on, Ashuddha Adhva starts. So what happens in Ashuddha Adhva? Ashuddha Adhva Tattva means limited knowledge, limited Gyan, etc. All that starts. So that Kanchuk, when the cover is put on, the Vivek nullifies. So this lack of Vivek or lack of ability to judge and discriminate between Prithvi, Jal, Vayu, Tattva, etc. is the effect of Maya. Sharire Sanghara Kalanam. So how this Maya Prapanch could be shattered? So Sharire Sanghara Kalanam. So what does it mean? Samvid Agni is there. Chidagni is there in your body, in which Thul, Sukshma and Karan Sharirs are offered by the yogi. When these Sharirs are offered by the virtue of Laya Bhavana, that is yogic practice, that is the yogic practice by the virtue of that Laya Bhavana, when you offer a Thul, Sukshma and Karan Sharir, in that Samvid Sharir or Samvid Sharir, if you will read Paratrimshika, you will see that Thul, Sukshma, Karan Sharir or ye Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh has different names. In Tirk Darshan, they have different names. As we are not taking up that right now, and Paratrimshika means the Pratibimba Bhag, It is very essential scripture for all the Shakta seekers, no matter who says what. But the fact is that when you will read it thoroughly and you will continuously, I shall not say read, when you will continuously study that scripture, you will find that whatever puja you are doing, you will find that meaningfulness of your puja. Why you are doing patra sadhan, why you are doing all this. So that connection will there. See, now there are two kind of things. If suppose your car breaks down and you take it to some roadside technician, what he will do, he will tell you, okay, this part is damaged, we will correct and give you back. But if the car is seen by some automobile engineer, what he will do, when he will see the car, all the anatomy of car would appear in the mind, in his mind, and he would be able to analyze that at what level what has happened, and because of that this breakdown has happened. So Paratrimshika will make you engineer of that sadhana paddhati, of this entire sadhana, Ānav, Shakta, Shambhav, all these. Why these things are happening, that would be known. And knowing that is very important. Knowing that is very important. Because I tell you, when you do sadhana, and even in this Shiva's Ānavopaya also, you will see there are very subtle stages. It is not that between Samanya Arga Sthapana and Vardhani Patra Sthapana, Vishesh Arga Sthapana, there is nothing. It's there. Between that pause, that Ama Shakti prevails. When you concluded Samanya Sthapana, and before starting Vishesharga Sthapana, that vacuum is pervasion of that Ama Shakti, that Parmeshwari Para Bhattarika prevails there. She prevails there. And then between Atma Tattva, between Peet Puja and Chatushashti Puja, then Chatushashti Puja, and then Avarana Puja. And Avarana Puja, between each and every Avarana, the vacuum, the gaps of Shri Yantra. Now Yonyatmak Shri Chakra, so the gaps by which you are able to perceive the triangles, those, why you are able to do so? Because Ama Shakti is distinctly pervading there. That's why you are able to. So there are various stages between these two procedures, all these procedures of puja. And by doing, and by that way you would be able to connect why after Samanya or Vishesharg is done and why it is necessary. And when it would come from your heart spontaneously, your devotion would increase, because faith would increase, devotion would increase. And when that devotion would increase, Bhaya bhaven labhyate vishwam bhaven cha dev darshanam. When the prema bhav would jagrat, would enlighten, the puja would become successful. Otherwise, it would be mechanical process, doing this. Okay, theek hai, because you are doing puja, so something would happen, so grace would be there. But when you will know why you are doing it, your faith would increase, your devotion, and your devotion would increase your results many times. So that's why it is important to know all that. So Nadi, next sutra is Nadi Sansara Bhutja Bhut Kaival Bhut Pratakatwani. So now again the upaya, means we have seen uchar, etc. So those upayas discussion has started now. So Nadi Sansar. So by the virtue of Nadi Sansar, so Nadi Naam Prana Vahini Naam Sushumnayam, है ना? All from the nadis up to Sushumna. Bhuta Naam Jayo. So what happens? Three stages are there. So first is Bhuta Jaya. What is Bhuta Jaya? Contemplating that bhutas have submerged. Bhuvam jalam pravilepyami, jalam agnim pravilepyami, agnim vayum pravilepyami, vayu akashe pravilapyami. Like that. So in Bhuta Kaivalya, removing the chitta from carnal subjects. Mano buddhim pravilepayami. Buddhi ahankare pravilepyami, ahankare prakrite pravilepyami, prakrite atma tattvam pravilepayami. So atma tattva is, है ना? So merging it in an atma, that is bhuta kaivalya. So bhuta shuddhi, first bhuta jaya has to be done. So bhutas has to be merged, and then bhuta kaivalya has to be done. And after that, bhuta kaivalya, bhuta pratakatva has to be done, means removing chitta indulged in bhutas and merging it in atma for the sake of purity. So that is karana. सबसे पहले जो first thing that Nadi Sansar Sushumna, that is done by Prana Uchchar. You see this here? Prana Tattva Samuchchar. By this it would happen, and by Prana Tattva this is up to some level it will happen here, or completely also it will happen. So Jagadanand is the supreme state in Prana Tattva Samuchchar. If you say I can take those Anands also, we can discuss those Anand also. If suppose time permits, we can discuss that. So Bhuta Jaya, Bhuta Kaivalya, and Bhuta Prithakatva, and that only is Bhuta Shuddhi. This only is Bhuta Shuddhi. What you do, Bhuta Shuddhi. So Bhuta Shuddhi is not just burning Papa Purush. Papa Purush is like it has been given, a toy has been given to you, okay, burn the Papa Purush. एक खिलौना पकड़ा दिया गया है. The factual and essential meaning is to attain the perfection of buddhi dhyan, prana tattva samuchchar. Okay, prana tattva samuchchar attainment. And suppose the day perfect bhuta shuddhi would happen, I tell you, after that you would not be able to do the puja. The day complete bhuta shuddhi would happen, you will forget everything. Your material would lie there, yantra would be in front of, Shri Chakra would be there, Bhagavati would quiver in your swa, urdhva kundalini ki avastha mein. I think we shall discuss how it happens in a slide. 15 minutes are there, so 5 minutes I will take for this. Time to mera hi hai. So there are 6 stages. So in the first state, before that you have to do a dhyan. By the virtue of dhyan, you will reach to the state of Turya, where prana and apan would submerge, and you will enter in the state of Turya avastha. So Nirananda would quiver. Nirananda would quiver at that state. After that, what would happen? The yogi is not able to realize the pranachar, means prana and apan existence would not be realized, and he would enter in the state of sushupti. But you shall stay there, and what happens is that at the time of pranodaya, then at that state when the pranodaya would happen, means again the dawn of pran would happen, you would enter in the parananda state. So the state would be parananda state. After that, what would happen? When you will enter in the state of parananda, what would happen? The prana sanchar would become lengthened. You might have heard that so few yogis are living for thousands of years, means ideally it's 21,600 pranachar in a day, but few yogis live for thousands of years. So what happens? Pranachar extends. So I'm talking very means precisely, means 1 or 2 lines only, because we have various topics and it's a detailed discussion, and practices are also associated to it. So I'm not entering into that. And when the yogi stays in that state and does not give up, he enters in the saman dasha. He resorts in the state of saman, and prana and apan both stagnate there in that state. Okay, and that state of anand is brahmanand. That is brahmanand. When after that brahmanand yogi enters in sushumna nadi. Sushumna nadi, he enters that, because pran and apan have stabilized, they have stopped moving. So what will happen? Sushumna marg would open up. That madhyamara sushumna marg would open up, because at body would require some pran vayu to survive. So sushumna marg would open up, and it said that elixir trickles. So by the virtue of that elixir, body would survive, because life is left. You have remaining pranachar. Until the time you have leftover pranachar, you will be alive. By the time your pranachar would end, you will die. Even Siddha Mahayogi will have to leave the body. So that's why yogis control their pranachar to live for thousands and thousands of years. So what will happen? Prana will happen in Mahasushumna Nadi and merges in Udan Roop Agni. Okay, and that state is known as Parananda. That is Parananda. Oh, sorry, that is Mahananda state. And then after that, what happens? After that, it rises up and enters in the Urdhva Kundalini state. After that, it rises up and reaches in the Urdhva Kundalini state. So many things have been explained here. I am not going to explain all that. When the in Sushumna, obviously, when Sushumna it will happen, so it will go to the Urdhva Kundalini Dham mein, and that is Mahavyana Dasha. So Abhinav Gupta in Spanda Shastra, Spanda Karika, it is mentioned as Tada Tasmin Mahavyomni Pralina Shashi Bhaskare. Shashi and Bhaskar means Prana and Apan. So Shupta Padam Padavan Mudha Prabuddha Syad Anavritaha. So what will happen in that state? When it will reach to fifth Chidananda state would occur, and Chidananda is supreme state. Chidananda is your supreme state. And after that Chidananda state, what will happen? A state would come in which even if you are in Samadhi or Vyutthana, Vyutthana is a state when you are not in Samadhi or you are in Word. There would be no difference. There would be no difference in that state, and that state is known as Jagadananda, and that is sixth state, and that is supreme state. So this is the ultimate. These are the ultimate realizations here. Now, after that, after telling about these Nadi Sansar, etc., some hint is the seekers are made are given warning. They are given a warning that they shall be aware. What is the warning? Maha Moha Varna Siddhi. So just from right while you will start from Deh Shuddhi up to Samadhi, means between this Jagda, from starting from that Niranjan state up to Jagadanand, there will be various stages in which you will get various worldly siddhis, and these siddhis are the cause of moh, means passions, means attract, means moh means attraction, means moh, what is that moh? Passions would be developed, and they will act like concealer. They would conceal yourself again, and you will not be able to succeed. So that's why one shall not stop for those siddhis. Similarly, in Yoga Sutra also, in Vibhuti Pad, it is said that Vibhutis would come, but don't stay there. Move on, then only Kaivalya would come. So what will happen when you will conquer on this moh? So it is said, moh jaya nanta bhoga sahaj vidya jaya. When you will conquer our moh, these passions, you will enjoy the bhog of that ananta surya, that supreme bhog would come, which is unending. Anant means that is unending pleasure. That is unending. As I said, that in that state there is Sadhya. Jagadanand, Sadhya means there is no past, present, future, this, that, north, south, east, west, up, down. Nothing is like, no space and time discrimination is there. Nothing like that is there. So what will happen? Ananta Bhoga Siddhi would happen, means supreme relishment would come to you, and that would be Anant, means that would be unending. No matter you are in this cage or not, this body is like cage only, so no matter you are in this cage or not, that joy would not stop. And Sahaj Vidya Jaya. Sahaj Vidya Jaya, spontaneously you will attain that Vidya. Who is Vidya? Shiva Vidya. Not Vidya Tattva is not a Shiva Vidya. That Parmeshwari Vidya, that Chiti Shakti would quiver in yourself. Now again, that discussion goes towards the creation, etc. So Jagrat Jutiya Karaha. So there are two Purnahanta. Purnahanta means Parmeshwar Shiva. Purnahanta means Pramata, self, himself, and Idanta means that. Purnahanta, Idanta, so self. So Purnahanta means the one who sees that this entire world is me only. This entire word is deliberated in, I am deliberated as this word within me only, and is indifferent with it. So that state is Purnahanta statement. You see no discrimination, and you see that this word is within you only. That state is Purnahanta. And the second arm is Idanta, means from that Purna means Parmeshwar Shiv. Again, the same thing is Atma Chittam, that only is means it is related to that only. We are taking the literal meaning only. So there are various detailed descriptions of it, and the difference why that sutra is said, then again why this sutra has come. So literal meaning is taken up only. So that differences could be studied, you know, and because otherwise each sutra will take a class. So it uh, will be hectic, because more than 80 sutras are so there. So I think 80 weeks, so more than 2 years it would take. So Purnahanta, that Purnahanta himself reflects as this word, and that word only is Idanta. Means this discriminative, Idanta is discriminative word. He himself deliberates as discriminative word, and so that Jagrat Dvitiya Kara, that's what is mentioned here. Jagrat Dvitiya Kara. Kar means arm. So that is second arm of that Purnahanta, means he himself deliberates. By the virtue of this, the word reflects as the rays of Swa of Shiva. That Swa of Shiva only reflects as this word. So that is there. And what happens here? Due to the above told reason, what will happen? That Atma Tattva which has become limited, that Atma Tattva which is Atma Chittam, that Atma Tattva which has become limited, would dance or will means rotate in the states of Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti. That's why it is said that Nartak Atma. That Atma is called as Nartak. Means it is Shiva has bounded himself, and now the Jeev is there. So Jeev is just dancing for today and tomorrow, to make livelihood, to make earn something. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, these stages. Turi Avastha is not there. Tritiya Bhokta Viresha. So that Turi is Tritiya Bhokta Viresha. So that is supreme, one of supreme states. Turiyatit is supreme state. So the soul, bounded soul, would only travel in Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti states. It would be like dancing in these three, between these, like shuttle ball, like shuttlecock. It will also move from here and there, here and there. And Parmeshwar Shiva only is playing from both the sides. He himself is playing from the both sides, and limited souls are like shuttlecock. He is playing. So when it is hit, it is Jagrat Avastha. And while moving Swapna and Sushupti, then again hit, then again Jagrat Avastha. So that's what it is happening here. So it is Nartakatma. And by this, I conclude today's session. Jai Mai Maharaj ki.
Wow, thank you, Giri Ratnaji. Very, very nice. Okay, so you will be able to take a couple of more classes on this, do you think?
2 classes would be required, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that means we can conclude in next class also? So
I think Prashad, you have something to say?
No, Bhaiya, no. Actually, I just want to thank him.
Go ahead.
And moreover, these topics actually require more time to even understand that. I feel that's why I keep watching the recordings.
I think what he's doing is he's giving us a taster of it. So he's not giving it the full version, but he's giving us a taster. So we go back, we do our own research, we read around the subject, and plus study it. I think that's what he's aiming to give. But you're right, it's a complex subject. I think the more we do manan on it, the better we get to it. But you're right, there's a lot to take in and a lot of experience to be acknowledged here.
Actually, intention here is to just to explain the meaning of each and every sutra.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes.
And later on, because when people read the commentaries, long commentary like Bhaskar, Vartik, and then Kshemaraj, Vivritti, etc. So what happens is that while reading 2, 3 pages, 4 pages, people forget that what is the sutra. So first of all, the meaning of sutra shall be there in the mind. What actually Bhagwan Shiv wants to say, and then what is the explanation? It's like I say that, okay, this is this flower is this is rose flower. It's a mobile phone. So that is explanation that it's a mobile phone. That is explained. After that, its characteristics could be okay. It is 128 GB. It has 128 GB RAM space and 8 GB RAM. Camera is built that. So that would be explanation. So the fact is that I'm only explaining that this is mobile phone.
Right.
I want to make people understand that this is mobile phone. So like that, Shiva Sutra, what Shiva Sutras say, at least that shall be firm in mind. And then when you will connect it to your daily practices, sadhana, mantra, etc., you would be able to, it will happen in mutual way. It will happen in a mutual manner, like Bhuta Shuddhi. We have seen the sutra, in one sutra, Bhuta Shuddhi has been explained. Because we all do Bhuta Shuddhi, that's why I explained that in that manner.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, there was no point of explaining other things in that manner. So I took to Parananda, Nijananda, and Nirananda up to Jagadananda, all these. In Bhuta Shuddhi, all those things would happen. But certainly, some stringent practices are required. Pranayam shall be proper. All these procedures shall be proper. That would happen. So my only intention is to explain that these are Shiva Sutras. And after that, further studies and correlation with daily practices of sadhana, further studies here and there. Because I tell you, all these are amalgamated together. These are Shiva Sutra is basic principle of entire Tantra sadhana which we are doing. It is basic principle. So when we will connect, we look at each and every sutra, and even suppose you, that's why few Western scholars have set up a mindset that after Trikmat, Shri Vidya Sampradaya got originated, because if you see Nitya Shodashi Karna, all that, they follow these principles, or rather you can say they are older than Shiva Sutra when the Shiva Sutras came into this world. So the thing is that principle is same. Nitya Shodashi Karna talks in length. Here it's in sutra format, means formula based. Okay, one formula is there. So that is the thing.
Great. Good. Thank you very much, Giriratnaji. Thank you very much.
Namaskar. I stop writing. I will stop recording.